Hey there you, and welcome to a crazy old fight that we've got for you today, as 2 million Imperial Guardsmen are about to take on 4 million Renegade Gunners. This is going to be a balanced, straight-up fight for domination. So let's find out which team is about to come out on top. And as always, if you do enjoy this content, do leave a like and consider subscribing, as that's the best way to support the channel. Now, let's get on with the slaughter. Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Today it should be a rather epic fight here. We've got quite a balanced army. Now, the Imperial Guardsmen here have got about double the stats of the Renegade Gunners. So to make up for that, the Renegade Gunners have got double the amount of units. They've got about 2 million melee combatants and about 2 million rifles. The Imperial Guard here have got about 2 million autoguns themselves. And this should be an absolutely epic fight over the center here, as millions and millions of Renegade Gunners now come charging forward into the Imperial guns, just throwing themselves against that. Oh my god, look at this already. A massive amount of death is already ensuing in the center. 30,000 have lost their lives on the Chaos team to 2,000 of so far of the Imperials. Now, this is largely because most of the Renegade Gunners have to get a little bit closer than the Imperials to be able to shoot their guns. So hopefully, just hoping that all the melee combatants here can absorb enough bullets to allow the Renegades to get close enough to start allowing them to lay down the smackdown. Now, you might notice it's a rather open battlefield. That's rather on purpose, because I'd want to see the ebb and flow of the battle here. I want to see these front lines shifting backwards and forwards. We have got some little bits of interesting terrain that are going to play into this battle as well. As you can see, we've got these little rolling hills here. Excellent fire superiority positions, and in the lowlands in between them already it's started to fill up with goo. 100,000 kills now have already been reached. Things are going mental. Let's go have a look on the flank over here. Looks like the Imperials are trying to push hard around this cliff face here, and I don't blame them. That would offer them a really good fire advantage down into the Chaos Horde here, which just stretches off into the distance. Meanwhile, this close combat fighting on our front line here, the Renegade Gunners trying to surge up the hill and down it. They don't want the Imperials to capture this position at all, and now they're throwing lives against it. Our front line, though, is starting to develop quite nicely. You can see that we've actually got Renegade Gunners now, all bunching up here, returning fire into the Imperial lines. The dagger is certainly flowing in this one. Like I said, I wanted this to be quite a pure fight. I didn't want, like, big tanks and things like that. I just wanted a straight-up fight between the two armies. Which one comes out on top? Keep it as balanced as possible, with the only difference really being the terrain. Like I said, if we've got double the amount of units, technically that makes up for the half amount of stats that they do have. I mean, look at this, the Imperials are taking losses here. Technically, if we were to double their losses so the ratios were the same, you know, the Chaos aren't that far behind in terms of kills, and they are taking a lot of losses here from their melee combatants, which just storm forward. So, you know, that is going to be heavily tipping in the kill counter favor here for the Imperial Guard. But the presence of Renegade Gunners now is really starting to amass behind the infantry that are pushing forward. Again, the infantry that are pushing forward largely acting as a meat shield here, just to absorb the bullets, allowing the Renegade Gunners to get at least one shot off here. You can see that we've got a battle for the hill in the center starting to develop. Sides here pushing up. Oh, that is literally a few meters between the armies here, because neither of them can shoot through the hill. They're all having to charge up. It's kind of interesting because look, if you look to the side of it, there's this large no man's land again, but then you just get this one little area where the armies are literally just meters away from each other with guns shooting each other. I actually think the Chaos are starting to get a little bit of an upper hand on this area. The melee combatants able to get really close up to the Imperial Guard before they're even shot. That could be quite crucial for the Chaos. If the Chaos managed to capture this hill here, that would be really nice. Again, look at the kind of field of fire they'd have from up here. The entire Imperial lines could come under siege. But again, we have got a no man's land to either side. And kind of insane as it's starting to fill in with blood and bodies, slowly but surely. Now, the Imperials here coming up to 360,000 kills as nighttime starts to set on a battlefield. Let's have a look at the other flank over this side, because this looks kind of brutal as well. So yeah, it looks like the Chaos has got a bit more of a raw deal on this side in terms of the terrain. The Imperials were able to push right up to this little sort of natural defensive barrier, and they've been holding firm ever since. Now, the Chaos do seemingly have bit more of a grip on the high ground up here. However, they've seemingly mainly filled it with melee troops at the moment. The Imperials are trying to work their way up to the top, and the bodies are starting to pile up here. I've got to imagine all this blood is just going to flow down into the center line there. Oh god, look at that battlefield stretching off into the distance. The Chaos really not putting that many reinforcements into this area. We've got this slow little trickle coming around the side, but it's nothing that great. The Imperials, though, have still got quite a heavy amount of firepower there. The Chaos are slowly but surely getting pinned in, maybe. Let's go have a look at our other flank very quickly. We'll have a look at these little mounds in the center. Yeah, look, some of these are really playing into the Chaos hands, allowing that melee infantry to get up close, which is starting to get this weird little wibbly-wobbly front line, which I was really hoping for. Because you can just see, like, up and down the line, there's no fixed straight line. Actually kind of feels like the Chaos may be gaining up a little bit of an upper hand in certain areas. Not in terms of kills, though, yet. I mean, the Imperials are pulling ahead. They have started to manage to push up this hill. Again, Chaos simply not able to get the reinforcements in here. But does that mean that all the reinforcements for Chaos are going to be going down the center? Are the Imperials going to get split in half in this battle? I mean, it's a tough call at the moment. There's still 3.4 million Chaos on the field right now. Nighttime is starting to set. Visibility is getting low. It's only the bullets and the flash fire here that you can see in the middle of the night. Oh man, look at these body piles here as well. It's starting to get insane. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Let's go back over to our center though, because I love these little no man's lands that we get, where neither side can push across it and they're just standing either side of it. What's going to happen little by little is that little piles of bodies are going to start building up, and we're going to get natural defenses out of the corpses of the armies here starting to build up. Little natural defensive walls. This center line though over this side is looking really interesting. We're starting to get quite a deep lake on this side. Is this actually... No, it's not impassable yet, so troops can still get through there. But yeah, Chaos really using these hills here to push right up into the Imperial Guard lines. And I'm not sure if it's a good tactic or not yet. Time will tell. It's really hard to see what's going on now. Nighttime really has set on our battlefield here. Chaos are taking massive amounts of losses, but they are making little bits of headway. The Imperials also taking quite a few losses now, coming up to 150,000, and that number is rapidly increasing. You can see the Chaos, though, starting to gain the upper hand on these hills. If the melee troops manage to push the infantry back down the hill, that could be really bad for the Imperials. But so far, both lines are just kind of static and sort of just wibbling and wobbling about between each other. It's the best way I can describe it. There are wibbly-wobbly combat lines. Soon dawn will start to come. Let's go up and have a look over this flank. Did Chaos start pushing more units into it? Yeah. It doesn't feel like it. It still feels like we've still got the same amount as before. And they're taking heavy losses doing this as well, because there's no concerted effort. But it is keeping the Imperial Guard in place. It is stopping them from taking that high ground. Though they are pushing up this area little by little. You can see them surging forward. The Chaos Renegade Gunners here returning fire. Actually, it might be a little bit of a good tactic in some ways, because they don't have amassed units, which means there's going to be a lot of missed shots here. Whereas the Renegade Gunners are just firing into a massed blob, meaning they can't really miss. Oh my god, look at how many Chaos there's still left here. It's absolutely insane. The front lines are so brutal, man. The Imperials are under constant assault here. Like I said, yeah, I know it would be nice if we had explosions going off, you know, artillery shells and tanks, but I just wanted a really pure fight. Just a simple, straight up, who wins? The worst of the worst for the Imperials and the worst of the worst for the Chaos. Both teams fielding really bad units, so who's going to win? And honestly, like I said, this one is a tough one to call. Even though the Imperials are coming up to 1 million kills, it just feels like Chaos has the upper hand on the battlefield. They've got that higher ground here. They're surging forward with units. The Imperials are holding, but they're taking very, they're taking losses, but it isn't rapid amounts. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still almost 200 odd a second. That's still pretty significant in terms of losses. But yeah, there's an unhealthy quagmire starting to appear at the center of our battlefield here. And I can only imagine that it will actually be to the detriment of the Chaos. If some of this terrain becomes impassable, I would think that the Imperials outrange the Chaos. It's also going to narrow down their melee troops and the melee capabilities. Oh my god, it's like an absolute insane fireworks show. Thank god there's no lasers in this game just yet. Can you imagine if this was all lasers? It'd be so bright at the moment. It'd be like the power of the sun. Let's go back over to this flank. I want to see what's happening over here. Because despite Imperial efforts, Chaos are still holding on to this. Like, they're not pumping reinforcements in, like, massive amounts, but they've got just enough coming in to keep the Imperials in a holding pattern. Now, I don't know if this is worth it, because we're starting to get this monumental body pile appearing on this side, where the Imperials are trying to push over. Again, both sides here taking heavy losses in this flank. The Chaos melee units here keep surging forward, but the Imperials just keep gunning them down. That is allowing the Renegade Gunners behind them to lay that covering fire down. Oh my god, this is an actual... I thought this was a hill for a second. No, this is just a body pile here. This is literally all bodies. I mean, we're starting to drown the trees out, for God's sake. It's getting a little bit intense. Daybreak is starting to break through now. Midnight has passed. Oh my god, look at this. Is it me, or has the Imperials actually been pushed back here? Yeah, it kind of feels like the Imperials have lost a little bit of ground. Oh my god. Sorry for anyone who's got epilepsy, because this battle at midnight, yeah, it's looking a little bit crazy. I mean, look at the front line here. The Imperials are definitely taking losses. You can see that the Renegade Gunners are having an effect here, but it's certainly not the same as the amount who are dying on the Chaos side. We're at over 1 million kills, though, now for the Imperial Guard army. They've still got a lot of reinforcements in. Chaos really needs to break one of these flanks at some point. That's what needs to happen now. The Chaos needs to break through one of these flanks or break down the center line. Actually, looking at the Imperial Guard army here, it does look a lot thinner in the center than it does. Look at this flank over here. Oh my god, there's so many Imperials over this side. And there's a load over on that flank too, but yeah, the center might actually run out of reinforcements, though I could say the same about Chaos, because they've got a nice big dip in their center line now. Okay, so what I think we should do is we should hit a little time-lapse camera on the front lines over here. I want to see some of this battle unfold, because we're starting to get these crazy little body piles now appearing. We can see all these body piles in the center as well, where the hills are. So yeah, what we'll do then, we'll hit a little time-lapse camera here, and we'll see if either side managed to win the center. We'll be back in a second. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. That was pretty crazy seeing all them bodies pile up like that. But look at this. It looks like the Imperial Guard are actually starting here to break through the center lines of the Chaos. And I mean, just look at these magnificent body piles now that we've created in the center here. The Chaos have been piled up high. I know there's a hill underneath this one, but my gosh, we've made a massive extension on top of it. The Imperial Guard now over 3 million kills under their belt. There's only 750,000 Chaos as well, 700,000 remaining. Now, look at this. This is actually kind of interesting. The Chaos seemingly have a lot of reinforcements stuck on this side of the map, trying to push round. They have not managed to break through the lines in this flank. Oh my god, look at this. The amount of bodies that are built up on this side now is truly horrific. The Chaos have lost their thousands and thousands of units trying to push this one area. The blood has been flowing though, but unfortunately for the Imperials, that meant that quite a few of the Imperial Guard ended up drowning to death in the lake of blood that's gathered down here. And I mean, little Timmy be praised, this is absolutely magnificent. Look at all this. Oh my god, the Chaos are still throwing themselves into this though. And the bodies keep on piling up. The Imperials have done a bang-up job up until this point. I mean, while we've been talking, 100,000 Chaos have perished. Now, I'm really interested. Oh my god, look at this lake here. That is magnificently big. In fact, oh my, that is really big. Does it continue all the way back over there? Have we literally just started flooding the entire area? I mean, that's quite deep as well, actually. That is really, really magnificent. This center line has been so brutal here for the Chaos. I can't get over these body piles in the center. Maybe we'll have to do more tests like this. I really enjoyed this one. Maybe next time what we should do is get a million Kriegers with shovels to go against the Renegade Gunners. That could be quite interesting. But yeah, some of these body piles here is absolutely brilliant. It's been quite a while since we've seen stuff like this. Let's scoot on down to this flank as well. I'm interested to see what actually happened over here. Because it just looks like, yeah, a massive, thick body pile has just appeared in the center. I mean, look at that. We've literally made a road in the center here. It's a raised area for bodies. Is this how the Romans did it? We just following in their footsteps. Oh no, it's definitely not how the Romans did it. I mean, even on this flank though, I've got to give it to the Chaos on this side. With seemingly hardly any units whatsoever, they managed to hold the Imperial Guard in place for a very, very long time. But yeah, it does look like the Imperials now are starting to break through that center line here. As we come on to, this is the second day of combat. Night is starting to slowly set again. Yeah, this is the second day of combat now. So I think what we need to do is we're going to have to hit another little time-lapse camera. This time we'll go for a little bit more of a zoomed out one because we need to see all these Chaos dudes come around here, and I think it's going to actually be quite difficult to be able to capture all of this, but we'll try. You know, this looks all right. We can see the Imperials here. Hopefully we should be able to see them coming up out on the flank as well. But yes, we'll be back with our final kill counter in a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks like now that the Imperial Guard have managed to clean up most of the Chaos, even on this side of the field now. Just massive body piles, yet again, all that remains. So we're going to go ahead and say that it looks like most of the Chaos then are still on this side of the field. The Imperials now have managed to push around in the middle of the night, breaking through the flank here. The heretics have found themselves surrounded on all sides. Oh my god, look at this thing. That is absolutely gigantic. No matter who wins here, Khorne always wins every single battle. Just the sheer amount of blood and death. I mean, look at that. Oh my god, there's some 40,000 renegades here, but with 900,000 troops still on the field, I think it's safe to say that this is pretty much an Imperial victory here today, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, as always, we need to cleanse the field here. We can't allow this to go on. And as always, until next time, I do hope you had a blast. I know I did. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. A massive shout out to all you channel members who helped keep this channel going. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not? Click the join button down below. And while you're at it, go ahead and check out the amazing ChaoticPinky store. We got some really cool merch over there. With all that being said, as always, until next time, peace.